Stjernholm Reviews. Making hi-fi great again and saving the wildlife habitats of the world. Join our Patreon and take part while enjoying all our exclusive listening session, early releases, and much, much more. Stjernholm Reviews. Your sound, your music, your planet.
My name is Torbjørn Stigberg, aka The Wizard. I'm the founder of Stigberg Audio, and this is the Manta. I wanted to make sort of an end-state system, we're a new brand, so I wanted to make something that people sort of reacted to, which we succeeded at. So, yeah, it's basically a 12-inch mid-bass, mid-range driver, something you'd find in like PA systems, basically, with regards to the size and capacity. One of these guys can do a 122 dB at 1 meter, so a set will do that at 2 meters. So you can stack quite a few subs to sort of match it.
That requires a big sub to match it.
It's minus 3 dB at 90 hertz.
Okay, so you have the crossover around 90 hertz?
Yeah, it's 100, there's a slight overlap there. This is roughly the same size of like the classic JBL L100, for instance, something like that.
Okay,
but still with the bass somewhere else, right? So the capacity is sort of out of this world. It's very few hi-fi oriented speakers that can do this capacity.
And this was the speaker system that got you going?
Both in like a personal achievement with regards to the sound, of course, and also the system is a bit unique, so we got quite a bit of traction in sort of the press and with customers as well, of course.
So you consider this Stigberg Audio's most high-end system?
Yeah, I would say that. So from a sound quality perspective, I would say it's on par with the Saranas, but capacity-wise, it's definitely the top. I tried hard to make the Saranas sort of mimic the same thing, so you have a quite large 8-inch mid-range there as well, but this is sort of another level of both mid-range sort of articulation and a lot of percussion and stuff like that is in this range. So you get a lot of impact, punch, and rhythm, and also a sort of it's hard to describe it, like an effortlessness at any level, basically.
Yeah.
That it's, I haven't heard many speakers do. And when you turn it up, it sort of just gets louder, nothing else sort of happens.
How the hell do you get subs to match that?
We started out with quite compact things, and our subs are quite compact as well.
Yeah, like the Incognito.
Yeah,
yeah.
And we also have this guy. It looks smaller than this, sort of, because there's an active driver on the other side as well. It's a dual opposed 10-inch. So it's quite powerful, but you actually need 4 of those to sort of start to begin matching the capacity of the Mantas.
So depending on how much SPL you actually need, you would go for 2 subwoofers or 4?
Yeah, so you could start with 2. It will be great and play really loud, but if you want to go even further, you could add more, and you can daisy chain them, so you could have 8 for that matter if you want to.
You have customers that has 8 of them?
Not of these, but you have people who have 8 of the Incognitos. Yeah. They have them up on the wall, like 4 in the front and 4 in the back.
Wow.
They get crazy even sound in a really large part of the room. It's pretty intense.
A basic system like this, how do you set that up? What is the manufacturer-approved method?
In theory, like any other system, subsystems are always much harder to sort of get right. It's a strange thing, because if you get a sub-satellite system right, it's better than just a floor standard.
What? How do you figure that? You just... I think I heard a fatwa being issued from some audiophiles there. Yeah. Please explain.
The best or optimal place to put your speakers to get the best imaging, soundstage, and symmetric perspective and everything like that, that's typically not the optimal place for the bass. So it's actually better to have the flexibility of having subwoofers, where you can experiment with the placement as well. And this is easier with this system because they're designed to work together, right? So the crossover is already set and works perfectly with the face and everything. So what's at least part of the things that makes it really hard to set up subs, it's already solved when you get it.
At what frequencies are bass starting to get really problematic placement-wise?
You have problems all the way up to 300-400 hertz, but specifically from 100 hertz and below, you often get 2 to 3 maybe room nodes that are typically very problematic. So you get like a 40 or 50 or 70 hertz boom that you just can't seem to get rid of, or a huge dip is quite common as well. So like maybe from 50 to 70 hertz, you basically have no bass and no way to fix it if you have a floor standard.
The optimum placement for the imaging may not be the optimal placement for the bass response.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things going into setting up subs with timing and the crossover and so on. Is all that built into your sub there?
Yeah, so crossover is preset, and we typically recommend sort of a stereo sub system, so you don't put it like anywhere, but somewhere like close to the left or right speaker. And there's almost no latency. There's like a 1 millisecond latency in these amps, so you don't have really a timing issue either.
As long as you keep the subs in
Yeah,
line
reasonably.
with
Like the wavelengths at that point is several meters, right? So yeah, the general sort of experience is that it's very, very easy to integrate compared to a system that wasn't designed to be integrated. So you can sort of connect, if you use XLR to the speakers, you can connect the subs directly to those, but you can of course also use it the traditional way when you connect the subs to a sub out from a processor of some kind. Generally, I recommend using XLR and then XLR through from the speakers to the sub. That's the easiest way and is super high quality.
I had comments saying, whoa, you use the analog inputs and oh, that's not pure and blah, blah, blah. You have to use the digital ones if there's digital inputs. What is your experience with that?
I'd say theoretically the digital in is better, but in practice the AD-DA conversion there is transparent, so I wouldn't stay up at night thinking about that. I would go with the convenience.
This speaker, the Manta, why is it called the Manta?
So that's a homage to my late uncle, who sort of got one of the guys who got me interested in hi-fi, and he had the Opel Manta, like a Venom green one in the 80s that he drifted around in and crashed in and everything, and he was the coolest guy and he had the coolest car on earth for me at that time. So
the subwoofer system you made there, strangely it has smaller drivers than the driver in the satellite speaker.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
No. So we do sell subwoofers independently as well, and this was actually developed for the SBS speaker. But since it's our most powerful sub, it's also a natural companion to the Mantas.
Yes.
And again, since they're dual 10-inch, this is basically the equivalent of a 15-inch sub with regards to performance. So it's in practice, it's actually larger than 12-inch.
And how low does it go?
In the room, somewhere between 15 to 18 hertz typically.
The idea for the cardioid design there with the openings in the side of the speaker, that came with the Manta?
Yes, I knew that it was possible to make it work, but it's a lot of experimenting to make it work well. It's not inherently sort of a new idea. There are a couple of others who do similar things, and also in PA, when you're at the concert, you often, especially in the bass, you see like they have 6 subs, and one of them is the other way around, so like actively cancelling out the sound. So here we do it sort of mechanically or passively. So there's sound coming from these ports, sending out sound out of phase from behind the drivers, and that effectively cancels a lot of the sound that would otherwise go to the sidewalls or to the rear. So that means cleaner sound, experience of more soundstage, and you get more direct sound and less of the sort of distorted sound from the room. So it works well in sort of normal listening spaces, and interestingly it sounds even better even if you have a really well-damped room as well.
Does it drain a lot of energy from the speaker?
So it depends on how you design it. So here we actually have 2 separate cardioid systems. There are 2 separate chambers, one for the mid-range and one for this driver. So there's not that many octaves covered by each system. And then basically you have very little efficiency loss. And since this is sort of designed over the top as well, even if you had a slight loss.
So as a satellite speaker, not having to play lower than 90 hertz, this thing is just capable of delivering immense sound pressure.
So we have studios who use these guys as main monitors in quite large control rooms.
Can they be used like a bookshelf?
Well, you have the amp on the back, but beyond that you can put it really close to the wall, and that's fine. I have them like 10 centimeters from the wall myself, and that's perfectly fine. And also, the closer you get to the wall, the less problems you get in the lower mid-bass, the 100 to 300-400 hertz. If you measure them, you typically see some dips there, and if you push the speaker closer to the wall, that's less severe. So then you get more punchiness there as well.
So you actually create some issues by pulling speakers out from the wall in general?
Yeah, so that's a complicated myth there that you get, not necessarily just a myth, but you typically put them out to get a larger soundstage, right? And it's just...
More back wall reflection.
Yeah, sounds better in many ways. But a part of that effect is that you're actually getting closer to the speakers. So if you move the speakers all the way back and followed it with your share instead, you would get much of the same effect, and at the same time would reduce those issues in the mid-bass.
But what happens then with the sound staging?
So it's natural to think that to get depth, you need to have distance from the wall. But in practice, that's a lot of visual cues as well that makes you think that it's like, okay, my brain can't make sense of depth when it's close to the wall, so then I don't hear it either. But it's actually largely still there.
This is a subject I sometimes run into with the listening team and other listening sessions, that I try to remove the visual cues. I've been participating in blind listening sessions with multiple speakers over the years, and it's amazing how much the visual cues actually mean to how our brain interprets sound.
People maybe are afraid to do those kind of tests because it challenges so many beliefs that they've held for so long. So I think that's part of the reason not more people do blind tests, and it's a bit complicated to set up, of course.
Who are these speakers for?
So from a purely theoretical, technical standpoint, again, this is a better system because you have the subs that you can place elsewhere and you have more capacity. But I've had a couple of customers now audition both. I can hear the difference between them because I've developed them and listened to them thousands of hours, right? But when I have people audition them like back to back, they are like, okay, I'm not sure I could differentiate between them. They sound very, very, very similar. So if you don't need the capacity, I think it's almost down to an aesthetic choice and what you makes your heart bump, I guess. So for a combined system for home theater or something like that, where you will be using subs on the way, I would definitely go with the Manta. But if you want a really clean living room setup, maybe the Soranas are better if you don't want the additional boxes.
How do people around the world get to listen to these speakers?
We sell mainly direct, which means it's sort of a challenge to get to listen to them. But we have some ambassadors that like our customers you can visit around the world. And we have a showroom in London and of course in Norway. And we also recently opened a retailer in the US, in the New York area. And there will be expanding with Sigbert stuff in Florida and eventually probably Las Vegas as well. Amazingly and interestingly, some people do buy these systems. They're quite expensive, right? But some do, like in the US and Canada and elsewhere, they do buy even if they haven't heard them, based on sort of word of mouth. And also I interact directly with the customers, so we have a lot back and forth to address any concerns they may have. And we do have a 60-day open buy policy, so you can try them for quite a while to make sure it's for you.
Thank you so much for showing up and delivering a pair. We look forward to sample them.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing your experience.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye!
It's one small step for man,